You know, for years we've heard this story, cloud versus edge, the big showdown, right? But what if that whole story is just wrong? What if the edge, this thing we're all talking about, isn't the destination at all? What if it's just this messy, chaotic pit stop on the way to something way bigger, something more connected? Let's dive in and really unpack this. Okay, so to see where we're headed, you gotta look back at where we came from. The cloud, it changed everything. Absolutely revolutionary. But it got so successful, it literally backed itself into a corner with two massive problems based in pure physics that it just couldn't fix. Problem number one, latency. You can think of it as the tyranny of distance. It's a hard and fast rule of physics, right? Data has to travel, and that takes time. Just like shouting across a canyon and waiting for the echo. Now, for browsing a website, who cares? But for a self-driving car that needs to slam on the brakes right now, or a surgeon performing a remote operation, that tiny delay is a difference between success and disaster. You just can't argue with the speed of light.
And then there's problem number two, bandwidth. Or more accurately, the lack of it. We are drowning in data. Think about it. Billions of IoT devices, cameras, sensors, all screaming data 24/7. Trying to pipe all of that back to a central cloud? It's like trying to push a fire hose through a tiny little straw. It's not just impractical, it's flat out impossible, both technically and financially.
So you take that speed of light problem, latency, and that data deluge problem, bandwidth, and you throw in the fact that a centralized cloud is this one giant juicy target for hackers, and if it goes down, everything goes down. Well, you get what we can call the syndrome of centralization. It was a flashing red light, a huge sign that something had to change, and fast. And into this crisis steps our hero, edge computing. It rode in with this incredibly simple but powerful promise to fix everything that was wrong with that centralized model. The core idea is brilliant in its simplicity. If sending the data to the data center is the problem, well, then just bring the data center to the data. Instead of shipping everything off to some faraway cloud, you do the processing right there, locally, on the edge of the network, right where the action is. Now, this isn't just one single thing. It's really a whole new layered system. You've got three main parts. First, the device edge, that's the actual sensor or camera creating the data. Then you've got the local edge, maybe a small server right there on site that can do some heavy lifting in real time. And finally, the central cloud is still there, but its job changes. It's for the big picture thinking, the heavy-duty analytics. All three working together, that's the key. So let's be super clear. The edge doesn't replace the cloud. It's not a cloud killer. They're partners. The best way to think about it is like the human body. The edge is your nervous system. It's what makes you pull your hand back from a hot stove instantly, a reflex. The cloud, that's the brain. It does the deep thinking, the learning, the remembering. You absolutely need both to function.
Okay, that's the theory. But what does this actually look like in practice? Let's zoom in on a smart factory, where the goal is perfect quality control on an assembly line. So here's how it works. Step 1, a camera, that's our device edge, snaps a picture of a part. Step 2, a small server right on the factory floor, our local edge, instantly runs an AI model on that picture. It spots a tiny defect in milliseconds, and bam, triggers an action. Maybe a robotic arm yanks the part off the line. Now here's the magic. Instead of sending terabytes of video to the cloud, it only sends the important stuff, like, hey, we found another one of these specific defects. Then, the cloud takes all that curated data from all the factories, learns from it, and pushes a smarter, better AI model back out to the edge. It's this beautiful, efficient feedback loop. Okay, so problem solved, right? The edge rode in, fixed latency, fixed bandwidth, story's over. We can all go home. Not so fast. This is where our story takes a turn. Because in solving the cloud's problems, our hero, the edge, created a whole new set of massive, chaotic problems. It has a fatal flaw.
And this really gets to the heart of it. Edge computing was never the destination. It's just a messy, chaotic, transitional phase. And this chaos comes down to three huge new tensions.
First up, what I'm calling the security paradox. Yeah, the edge is great for privacy, because the data stays local. But think about what you just did. You replaced one big, well-defended fortress, the cloud data center, with millions of tiny, exposed outposts, sensors on light poles, cameras on factory floors, computers in cars. Your security perimeter isn't a wall anymore, it's everywhere. And all it takes is one cheap, insecure sensor to become a backdoor into your entire network. The system is only as strong as its weakest link.
Tension number 2 is the operational quagmire. Just imagine trying to manage, patch, and update thousands, maybe millions of different devices from dozens of different vendors. It's a complete logistical nightmare. Worse, you get trapped in these proprietary ecosystems. Vendor lock-in becomes a huge problem. They get you with these insane egress fees. That's what they charge you just to move your own data out of their system. It makes switching almost impossible. The total cost of ownership just goes through the roof.
And the third one, this one's a biggie, the ethical minefield. Okay, so an autonomous car with an edge computer makes a bad call and causes an accident. Who's at fault? The car owner? The manufacturer? The company that wrote the AI software? The person who trained the model? There's no clear answer. It's this accountability vacuum, and it's a huge legal and ethical mess. This risk alone is enough to make companies really nervous about going all in on this stuff.
So you've got this three-headed monster, a security paradox, an operational nightmare, and an ethical minefield. This is not sustainable. The whole model is cracking under the pressure. It's forcing us toward a total collapse of this cloud versus edge idea and into a radical reintegration, a completely new way of thinking.
The old model, the one that led us to this chaos, was simple. The cloud is the all-powerful brain, and the edge devices are just dumb hands and feet waiting for orders. That metaphor, it's officially broken. It's time to throw it out.
The new reality, the way we have to look at it now, is as that single, integrated nervous system we talked about earlier. Intelligence isn't just in the brain anymore. It's everywhere. It's in the reflexes of the spinal cord. That's your local edge. It's even in the nerve endings, your device edge. It's not separate parts. It's one fluid, integrated, intelligent system.
But here's the catch. A system this complex, this distributed, with trillions of moving parts, there is no way humans can manage it. We're just not fast enough. It's going to require something new, an AI conductor. Think of it as a master AI whose only job is to orchestrate this entire symphony of devices and data in real time, deciding where to run a workload, how to route data, how to patch a vulnerability, all of it instantly. The system won't just be automated, it's going to be autonomous. It will run itself.
Now, this isn't happening tomorrow. We can see a roadmap taking shape. From now until about 2028, we're in what you could call the age of orchestration, basically just trying to get a handle on the chaos we've created. Then, from around 2029 on, we'll see the great reintegration, where those old lines between cloud and edge just blur into nothing. And then, looking out into the 2030s, that's when we'll see the real dawn of the AI conductor.
So if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. The whole edge versus cloud debate, it's over. It's irrelevant. The future isn't about choosing one or the other. It's about creating one single, fluid system, a compute continuum, where intelligence flows freely and workloads run wherever they make the most sense. All resources, everywhere, all at once.
And that brings us to a really fascinating question for you. In a world where an AI is conducting our entire digital infrastructure, what human job do you think it's changed the most profoundly? I'm really curious to see what you guys think, so drop your thoughts in the comments below.